Hey, we're talking about music today. Sunday Rant time. Sommercable mug. Look, Sommercable. They printed my name on it and it's already fingerprinty. Hey, so I've said this about Disturbed a lot. Not here, but somewhere. And I thought about it in the car yesterday. Some bands have a style, a trick, a USP. What does it stand for again? Unique selling point. The thing why you like them, which is great. But however means but. Wow! However, it is such a unique, small musical niche that they're in that they can't deviate from that without literally destroying what you like about them. Now we're going to go to Disturbed. We're going to go to AC/DC. But let me say, illustrate it with something less severe. We're not talking about style here. You're always in your style. Of course, Disturbed cannot all of a sudden do John Mayer stuff. And John Mayer cannot do metal. It's going to alienate their audience. And when Garth Brooks wanted to do it, he had to put on a different persona, and all of a sudden he could do a little bit more rock and roll, right? I get that. So you're pigeonholed by your style. But within that style, being able to express yourself sometimes can be hindered by a unique thing that defines your band. So let's say John Mayer. John Mayer can do a ballad, slower, maybe dancing in a burning room. He could have like a little bit more up-tempo blues number, but can he do an actual up-tempo song? 150 BPM, 160 BPM, getting into the metal range. Like a really up-tempo number. Nope. That's just not his thing. He might not want to, but I think his style and his audience and everything just wouldn't appreciate that. Now, John Mayer can do a 3/4 number, not a problem. It'll be slightly different, but he can. He can do a swing, absolutely, right? He can do a 6/8, absolutely. All good. It all works within his style. So he is musically relatively free within a certain BPM. Honestly, this is what we're talking about, right? Within a certain BPM to express himself musically. And can do, if he's got a 6/8, okay, fine, that's a cool number. And he doesn't have to go like, oh, wait a second, that's not going to work for my audience or for my style. So the style is stylistically free enough. Sting, same thing. Sting could do, 9/8, 7/8, 4/4, 3/4, 6/8, anything works, even odd time. Could he do a real up-tempo number? Probably. A punk band, can they do slow numbers? Ballads. Ballads are tough for some punk bands, right? But they could, and they have. But a punk band can take the tempo up quite a bit higher because it works for the style. Now, let's talk about Disturbed before we go to AC/DC, because those are two examples where I really think they wrote themselves in a corner and built an audience with a style that leaves no freedom for the band. And Disturbed is the biggest example I have for that, because I just listened to the new Disturbed single yesterday in the car, and it's good. It's good as always. But it is exactly the thing that made 1,000 fists? 1,000 what? 10,000 Fists. Yeah, that's the album, which is mind-blowingly brilliant, which made it what it is. Oh, they have ballads, yeah. Sound of Silence, and so, I mean, they have the covers. But literally, that's got nothing to do with Disturbed. So Disturbed, what Draymond, I think is his name, does is all 4/4. There is no other way. 16th grid, there's no swing. I don't think ever, because you can't. And within that 16th grid, they got to stay in a tempo where the singing can do. So we're doing that dotted eighth. So we're doing staccato singing. Okay, that's what he does every single fucking time. Every single time. So you can't go on. You keep the 16th grid going. It'll be a bit too rappy. But do a 16th grid, very staccato singing, which is way cool and very unique to them, I think. And then break it up with a da 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 da, you know, dotted eighth. And that's the bus. And then the pre-chorus comes in, and all of a sudden we're doing long notes, because for your ear, you're kind of sick of the staccato stuff. So you need to bring in a different idea. And pre-chorus does that. And then the big chorus, the actual hook, cool. Back to rein it in the 16th grid. While the guitar and the drums are doing a very staccato rhythm with the kick drum and the guitar. So it's a staccato-y 16th rhythm, and the vocal line is with it and then not, and with it and then not. So it's weaving in and out of being in sync with the drums and the guitar, and then being a counterpoint. It is, let me say that, I'm not bitching about it, I love the band. It is brilliant. It is a brilliant stylistic element. It is amazing. It's well done. Those dotted eighths are beautiful loosening of that staccato. The pre-chorus opens up rhythmically for the vocals. And then we bring it back to the staccato rapping part. Amazing. But if that is what you have established as your thing, how do you break out of it? How do you do something different? Where can you take that thing and still make it that thing that your audience likes? You can't take it anywhere. So if we get too slow, can you do that at 90 beats per minute? Nope. Nope. Boring. Can you write a ballad with it? Your style, sorry, does not lend itself to slower songs or ballads. Can you go faster? Nope. No, it'll just be crazy. So you're very much stuck in a very narrow tempo window, okay? Which is okay. You can still do lots within that tempo with pseudo tempo. So, meaning you can take 130 beats per minute. Is that 130? Dude, that's about I don't know what that is, 130, 140. And you could do that style. But you could do halftime, right? Which they probably do sometimes. And you can still do that on top of it. You can do halftime. You couldn't do 6/8. You probably could, because within 6/8, you still have a 16th grid, but you got 6/16th and then 6/16th. Is that true? No, you got 12. What? That's what I said. 6 and 6. That is 12. Yeah. So you could still do that. It would feel a bit different. It would take an effort to say we need to do something fucking different. But you could. It's possible. But they're not. So 6/8 would, in that tempo, where it fits into that 16th grid, feel different. It's possible. It would still work. No, not doing it. 12/8, or similar thing. 3/4, nope. 7/8, 9/8, hell no, not gonna work for that audience. That's crazy. So we're really talking about a 4/4, 16th grid, where we can be maybe between 110 and 145. Let's say roughly, okay? It's kind of limiting. What about triplets? Nope, I don't think they've done it. I think they could experiment with these things to try to see how far they can push their style. But I don't hear a Disturbed song in triplets. I haven't heard it. If you know of one, please refer me to it. I've heard a lot of Disturbed. Swing. Nope, not gonna happen. So you see, we're talking about 4/4, 16th grid. That's it. In a very narrow tempo window. That doesn't leave a lot of artistic expression. That doesn't leave a lot of, oh, I'm inspired by this. Oh, that's so cool. Let's try to do something in our style. Nope. That style will inevitably lead to you writing the same old shit over and over and over and over and over and over, right? It's always going to sound the same, not because they don't know how to write, not because they're not creative, but what they've established themselves with. Put them in a corner, and nobody puts baby in a corner. It's from a movie. Where they just can't get out of. For me, that would be a nightmare. Complete nightmare. I need, like on every album I do, I need to have the up-tempo number really fast. I need to have the ballad. I need to have the super quiet ballad with just, piano, acoustic guitar, whatever. I need to have the rockin' song, the other rockin' song, the rockin' song in 6/8. Maybe a song in 7/8. Why not? Because it's cool trying to make that sound as if it's not 7/8. I pose not difficulties, challenges. That's the word. I pose challenges to myself to write the big, epic 9-minute song, but also do the cool, fast 3.5-minute number. I like to go for variety in tempo, in feel, in time signature. That makes an album interesting. That gives each song a feel of its own. And that's just me. Don't need that, of course, as Disturbed clearly shows. But then you listen to the next Disturbed song, you're like, well, this is really good. This is really good. But I've heard it before. So, AC/DC, that's another one. And I'd like you to fill the comments with more that you can think of. So with AC/DC, is there a 3/4 AC/DC song? Is there a 6/8? AC/DC ballads? Don't think so. So what is AC/DC limited by? Is it the musical knowledge? I don't think so. Lyrically, I don't even know what it's about, but it's probably about rock and roll and fast cars and hot chicks. That's what rock and roll in the 70s was always about, and late 60s. So AC/DC is 4/4. There's a ride on the kit, but I don't think that's actually ever being used. That's an alibi. It's an alibi ride. That's hi-hat on eighth notes or quarter notes. And we're doing boom chuck, boom chuck, boom boom chuck, boom boom chuck. Okay, that's the rhythm. In a stompy, head bobby tempo. Super up tempo stuff. Nope, they don't have that. Nope. They don't have those numbers unless I'm mistaken. And most of what they do is the open chords. You got the A, the E, the D, the G. Could be a C in there somewhere. Maybe open with a 9. And rhythms where they go back and forth between them. Da 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 da. You know, whatever variation of these you can make. There's a familiar pattern of chords in an 8th note grid, I think. Sometimes could be a 16th thing going on. I think they really kind of broke out of what they wanted to do with the Razor's Edge that Thunderstruck is on. Especially the song The Razor's Edge. That is actually different. But it's tough when you have that stomp, 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 8th note grid in a relatively rigid tempo range, and you're working with primarily open chord, edge of breakup-y sounds. That's what you gotta have. So again, with what you've established as what your audience likes, you've maneuvered yourself in a creative corner that doesn't leave a lot of options. Now we can talk Nickelback, and I know you all want to hate on Nickelback, but Nickelback doesn't have those limitations. There's the super cheesy ballads, which are all the same. It's literally the same chord progression, because I think Chad Kroeger doesn't know that it's the same thing. He doesn't recognize, oh, that's a 1-5-6-4 axis of awesome. Or maybe he does, and he does it deliberately because he's smart about it. But Nickelback has the big halftime numbers, right? Heavy, slow, and they have the really fast numbers. Animals, I think. Is it Animals? I think that's a call. That's a song. On that Turnaround album. So similarly, we could say for power metal, that is all up tempo. Can't do it slow, and if a power metal band all of a sudden goes slow. But within power metal, you can do, for example, 6/8, 12/8, 3/4. You can have shuffle. It's possible. Okay, triplets. AC/DC in a triplet feel. Don't. Is there something? Please comment. Look, I don't know everything. Just talking out of my ass here, as I always do. So all I'm saying is, if you do not want to get musically stuck in a narrow corner, check if what you're doing can only be done with a very narrow set of parameters. I think Disturbed is the best example for that, where it's a very narrow set of parameters that actually works for that style. And if people absolutely love that, you're gonna get stuck right there. And if people then say, well, it always sounds the same, yeah, because you like that one thing that we literally can't do any other way. Otherwise, it's too fast, it's too slow, it's a meter that doesn't work for it. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. Just, maybe don't judge those bands for being always the same. The style kind of dictates that. Maybe when you are establishing yourself as an artist, which I don't know how you do that nowadays, be aware of variety so that you're always free to go into slower, faster, different tempos, different feels. I have no idea what I'm trying to say. That was it. Sunday Rant over, and Adam was at the end.